Okay, so today we're going to jump into something pretty wild, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so claiming they turned like 17 bucks into, you know,
Into what? Figure
$5,500 for a
Wow.
week. Yeah. And, you sent me this episode of the Income Podcast, and
Right.
I got to say, I was a little skeptical at
Well,
first,
of
but
course. Yeah. Who wouldn't be?
right. But we got to deep dive into this and see what we can learn.
Yeah, for sure. Let's break it down.
Okay, so first of all, $17, like,
I mean, come on.
it's practically nothing.
That's like what? A couple of coffees.
Exactly. So
Yep.
that immediately caught my attention.
Right. It makes you think like, okay, what's the catch?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And the person on the podcast was saying, they were hesitant at first too,
Yeah.
but they decided to just go for it. And here's where it gets interesting.
Okay. I'm all ears.
So they followed this like really specific system.
A system, huh?
Yeah, like a step-by-step process.
Interesting.
But it wasn't like an overnight success story or anything.
Okay, so it wasn't like instant millions.
No, no, no. It was slow at first,
How slow?
like just a few bucks here and there.
Mm.
But then something clicked.
Oh, so like a hockey stick growth curve.
Yeah, exactly. Like within a few weeks, they were making hundreds of dollars.
Wow.
And then it just kept climbing thousands of dollars
Seriously?
until, boom, $5,500 per week.
No way.
Yeah. And apparently it was all running pretty much on autopilot.
Okay, so this system, what was it exactly?
So they were a little vague about the specifics, for obvious reasons probably.
Yeah, trade secrets.
But they did mention using a popular platform, one that everyone's heard of.
So it wasn't like some obscure thing no one knows about.
Exactly. And that's what's so crazy.
Yeah.
Like, it's not about the platform itself.
Okay, so it's how you use it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were very clear about that. The platform is just a tool.
So it's all about the system they were using on this platform.
Right. They said a lot of people try to use this platform and they fail.
Because they're not using the right system.
Exactly.
Interesting. So it's all about having that specific knowledge and strategy.
Yep. And the impact it had on this person's life was like,
Life-changing, I bet.
yeah, they talked about going to Paris, staying in a luxury hotel,
Nice.
overlooking the Eiffel Tower, and
Must be fancy dinners.
the whole 9 yards.
Wow.
And they weren't even worried about money.
Must be nice.
Then they went on a 5-star family cruise,
No kidding.
all inclusive with private excursions.
Sounds pretty amazing.
Right. Like they had this newfound financial freedom.
That's the dream right there.
Exactly.
So if someone's listening and they're like, okay, I want to try this.
That's the first step.
Yeah.
Well, the speaker's advice was simple start.
Just start.
Yep. They said, don't overthink it. Don't get bogged down in the details.
Just dive in.
And remember, you only need $17 to get going.
Which is nothing, really.
Yeah. So no excuses, right?
Pretty low barrier to entry.
But they did emphasize that you got to be consistent.
Right. You can't just do it once and expect miracles.
Yeah. And you have to follow the system exactly.
So it's about commitment and discipline.
Right.
And having that proven system to guide you.
Right. And their final message was like, don't wait.
Don't wait for what?
Don't wait to start building your own financial freedom.
So it's about taking action now.
Yep. They made it sound like it's way easier than people think.
Interesting. So what are we left with here?
Well, I think the takeaway is that it's all about finding the right system.
And applying it consistently.
Right. Even with just a small amount of money, you can potentially achieve big things.
It makes you wonder what other systems are out there.
Definitely. So from $17 to $5,500 a week, all thanks to a system on a popular platform.
Who knew?
The key is to take that first step and not wait. If you want a copy of this software, there is a website link in the bio at the bottom of this deep dive.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, me too.
All right, so until next time.
I'm on diving. Bye. See ya.